Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Friday, July 11th, 2025. Now, the Combs just keeps on going. We'll get to sentencing, and there's a lot of discussion about that. We get a lot of questions, but there's the civil cases as well. One we've been covering closely, Grayson versus Combs. It was coming up to an actual, initial pretrial conference, but now Judge Vargas has ruled that by July 22nd, either there must be an answer to the motion to opposition to the motion to dismiss or an amended complaint. Probably there'll be an amended complaint. That's often how these things go. Someone makes a complaint, there's a motion to dismiss, they file as of right an amendment to clean it up. So we're following that one here in SDNY, but there's also one out in the Northern District of California, which we live tweeted yesterday. It was kind of a side issue. It's a case against Combs and a number of others. It actually names Odell Beckham Jr., but it names Druski. Yes, Druski. So Druski has moved for sanctions against Ms. Parham's lawyer, who zoomed in, to the conference and said it was offensive, this motion for sanctions. Now Druski has presented some credit card and phone information that he was in Georgia at the time of the alleged assault. Parham's lawyer said, phones can be different where the person is, credit card charges can be posted late, and that this is a question of fact to go to the jury. Judge Lynn took it under advisement. We're going to continue to cover that one. You can draw your own conclusions. Now, the sentencing is serious. It's coming up, and it's going to be October 3rd. Today, the U.S. is filing on offense conduct is due. And I'm hoping it goes into the docket. It really should. There's an order by Judge Subramanian responding to our filing in week one of the trial that all things should go into the docket. But that's often not been complied with. So we're going to be watching that extremely closely. Now, for those interested in the Combs sentencing and what guidelines mean, guidelines usually, I would say, in most cases here in SDNY, the sentences given are below the guidelines. Not much below the guidelines, but generally below. Sometimes, if something egregious happens, or if there is, as here, possibly offense conduct, you can go to the top end of the guidelines. If you're going to go above the guidelines, you have to give the defendant notice in advance. This arose yesterday in something that we live tweeted, U.S. versus Truglia. Truglia served 18 months, which was below guidelines, for his role in a $20 million hack, SIM swap hack of cryptocurrency. He served his 18 months. He got a low sentence because he promised that he would pay the victim back $20 million. He says he never had the money. I don't know why he said he could pay it, but he never paid anything. And while he was in the MDC in Brooklyn, where Combs is, but in a special unit, he was in Gen Pop, and according to him and according to the BOP, he was extorted for $48,000 in his Wells Fargo account. I think there's a separate case going on about that. They don't say it, but they do say that the government admits that he was extorted. Yesterday, he was up for resentencing. His federal defender said he shouldn't be resentenced. It's a debtor's prison. Well, he got hammered. 12 years, okay? And the guideline was up to 63 months. So it was more than double the guideline. This is extremely rare. And I would say it's probably going to be overturned, or at least limited on appeal. But he was immediately remanded, too. He went to the MDC, where he had to be in solitary because supposedly people know that he said he was extorted. And today he should be coming back into the courthouse right behind me, although we won't see him. He'll be in the plumbing of the system and sent out to Essex, where they wanted to send him yesterday, but there was apparently no room at the inn. In other crypto news, I'm speeding up now because I got to get in there. In other crypto news, Roman Storm Tornado Cash. There was a filing yesterday in which Roman Storm is opposing the government being able to use a hacker who used Tornado Cash allegedly to launder the proceeds of his alleged hacking. So there's another one. We'll see whether this witness gets in. He was very late disclosed, so he might be excluded. That's quite possible. In other trial news, we're actually covering a trial in Boston because Judge Young, 81 years young, allows one to participate or at least observe virtually. And in fact, the witnesses are virtual too. Today's witness is a woman named Smith, working for the State Department. She's down in Jamaica. She's on screen with a palm tree behind her, but she's a big deal in the Bureau of Consular Affairs. And essentially, the government put her on to say that the U.S. has been cracking down on visas ever since the 93 World Trade Center attack. And she went on, they kept giving objections by the plaintiffs because as part of their case, they want to say, like, This is a brand new policy under the Trump administration. So some of it is new and some of it is not new, but it's going around and around, and the cross thus far has been longer than the direct, and it just keeps going. But so do we. We continue to put in questions to the United Nations, including today about new rapes they've disclosed and data dumped on their website, which not a single correspondent, quote unquote, that they allow in asks about, ever. All they want to know about is the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, even as UN peacekeepers are raping children in the places they're sent. But we're going to put in the questions today, and then we'll write a story about it. If this is the last vlog of the week, have a good weekend. Intercity Press, we will not cease.